mist on the mountain's brow, whispers from long ago. Hear the song of the city calling you to the sea. The ancient kings return, a timeless fire burns. The heart of air calls beyond the waterfalls.
These old stories from the school's collection are treasures. They say a place remembers. Not in stories or in books, but in the way the wind moves through a field, in the way a road feels under your boots, in the way a silence can fall heavier than any stone. And around Lough Rynn, that silence has a shape, a shadow, a memory that never quite settled. Long after Lord Leitrim met his end on a lonely Donegal road, the people of Mohill and Gortletteragh kept telling the same two stories. Not to frighten children, though it did, but because they believed the land itself was still speaking. The first was about the coach, not a real coach, not one you could follow or flag down. This one was black as tar, drawn by horses with no heads on their shoulders and yet somehow still breathing steam into the night. It travelled the roads at midnight, always midnight, and always on the quiet stretches between Mohill and the lake. They called it the Cushta Búr, the death coach. And the strange thing was this: you never heard the horses. No hooves, no snorts, no clatter of wheels on stone, only the chains, a heavy dragging rattle like something being pulled from the far side of the world, and the furious driving of a man you could never see. Some said it passed down Blackhill Avenue the very night the Earl was shot. Others swore it was heard the week before, as if the land itself was giving warning, and a few old people, the ones who never raised their voices, would only say, "When that coach is on the road, someone's time is up." But the coach wasn't the only thing that lingered. There was the woman, the White Lady of Lough Rynn. She was seen drifting through the gardens in the early hours when the mist was still lying low on the grass. Sometimes she moved along the grand staircase inside the castle, her hand trailing the banister as if she still lived there. Other times she stood by the water's edge at dawn, her dress pale as milk, her face turned towards something no one else could see. And here's the part that made people lower their voices. They said the coach and the woman were connected, that on certain nights, rare ones, the chains of the Cushta Búr would fall silent, and the White Lady would appear at the same moment, standing perfectly still, as if listening for something coming down the road. Some swore they saw her lift her head when the air grew cold. Others said she turned away from the lake and faced the avenue as though she knew exactly who the coach was coming for. A few even claimed she wasn't haunting the castle at all. She was warning it. Some said she was a jilted bride of the Clements family, promised a life she never got to live. Others whispered she was the daughter of a tenant, a girl who suffered under the Earl's rule and whose sorrow soaked into the stones of the estate. Whoever she was, she never spoke, she never screamed, she never chased, she simply appeared, heavy with grief, as if the castle itself was remembering her. And that's the thing about these stories, they're not really about ghosts. They're about memory, about the weight of what happened here, the kind of weight that doesn't wash away with time. Walk the grounds of Lough Rynn on a bright day and you'd swear nothing ever happened. The lake is calm, the gardens are quiet, the castle stands proud, as if history never touched it. But wait until the mist rolls in, wait until the night goes still. And listen, some say the coach still passes by the avenue, some say the White Lady still walks the water's edge, and some say the land hasn't forgotten a thing. And maybe there's a lesson in all of this. The land holds memories longer than any of us do, and the stories we leave behind are often louder than the lives we lived. Some shadows stretch far and some fade with time, but the truth of a place is carried in the voices of the people who remember it. If you've stayed with me through this tale, thank you. These old stories from the school's collection are treasures. Bits of our past gathered by children with pencils and copybooks, carrying the voices of their grandparents into the future. We'll be back soon with another tale from the school's collection. Another whisper from the old days. Another story the land refused to forget. Until then, mind yourselves and mind the roads around Lough Rynn.
Where ancient spirits softly tread, and mossy stones hold what was said. A whispered tale upon the breeze, through haunted wells and sacred trees. The signal from the old lands calls, the Bog Signal speeds.